I'm ever going to be. I'm on my mark. Rolling. Quiet, please. Standing by. What do a female beer whisperer, a digital specialist, a bilingual technologist, a beer guy, a salsa guy, who has an ice cream named after him, and a lieutenant with the Fort Worth Police Department all have in common? They're my guests this week on Inside Fort Worth Business, Fort Worth's only video magazine focused on telling the stories on the faces and personalities of the city and cultivating business. I'm your host, Chris Quinn, and this week's episode is sponsored by none other than CQ Digital Media. Think CQ. We create video for websites, trade shows, social media, and mobile applications. You know, it's been a great week and we have a great show lined up for you of storytellers, influencers, decision makers, and people that are making a decision in our community. You know, we've talked about going digital and the best way to do that. And I wanted to think about how we could do that by going hashtags. So I first started by thinking about how I could bring in a digital specialist. And I wanted to do that with someone by the name of Nick Kruger, and to talk about hashtags and YouTube. Cue the Nick! Nick?
Hey, Chris.
Welcome aboard. How are you?
Good.
How's everything going?
Good.
Had a good weekend?
Yes, sir.
Great. When we think about hashtags, how should we be using hashtags?
All right. Well, first, a little history. Hashtag is a pound sign followed by a brief phrase that allows you to tag a post to make it part of an ongoing conversation. 1 to 2 hashtags have been proven to at least double the reach of most content that you're putting online. And probably the most important thing that you need to remember about using a hashtag is that you understand what a particular hashtag is about before jumping on board with it, to make sure that you aren't introducing messaging into a space that is not really consistent with what that hashtag is about.
Okay. I see hashtags on Twitter and Instagram. How should we be using hashtags?
All right. Well, hashtags can be used a couple of ways. One is if you're wanting to contribute to a conversation, you're making a comment, and so by adding the hashtag, you're making it part of that community that's talking about that subject. Hashtag also serves the purpose of being a handle that allows people who are looking to find out what people are saying about a particular subject, allows them to find it. The most important thing is to make sure that what you're saying is consistent with what that hashtag is about, so that your voice is part of the discussion and not a distraction.
Okay. Why should people use hashtags?
Largely to help your content get found.
Okay. And just on Twitter and on Instagram, or on all applications?
Hashtags are used throughout several media channels. The first one was posted in 2007 on Twitter, but hashtags can now be found on other channels like Facebook and Instagram and others.
Great. YouTube. YouTube is the second largest search engine, only to Google.
Yep.
Talk about it.
Okay, well, YouTube is massive. Last year, the statistic was YouTube serves up about 650 million hours of video content every single day. And it's because one of the things a lot of people don't know is that YouTube and Google are both owned by Alphabet, which is one of the planet's largest companies. And the primary source of revenue for both Google and YouTube is advertising sales and revenue. And so when you're logged into Google, like on Chrome and on Android, and you're surfing the web and you switch over to YouTube, Google can then provide all of that cloud tracking information for advertisers to target you. And so increasingly, YouTube is very focused on high volume commercial producers of content, like your world-leading YouTubers who get a lot of support. Then everybody else is welcome to participate, but have less support and have to figure it out.
Great. So when we talk about creating content, and we're going to put it on all our social media channels, if I want to create a YouTube channel, what's the first thing I need to do?
Okay, well, the first thing that you need to do, both in content production for YouTube or really any kind of marketing, is you think of your audience. Who are they and what are they interested in? And so you want to make sure that you craft the branding of your channel, its messaging, the words that you use, and the content you produce to be of interest to them. Then the next thing is recognizing in the old days of broadcast, you would push media out to everybody, and they only had 3 or 4 channels to choose from. Now they've got thousands and tens of thousands. And so your audience is going to be looking for what you're putting out there. So when you're creating content and putting it online, you want to make sure that you use keywords that are optimized for search engines that allow people to find what you're looking through or what you're producing through search. So that's in your titles, descriptions, and not least importantly, your transcripts, your closed captioning, because search engines don't index images and audio, but words. And so you want to make sure that you put that information out there so the search engines can get it in their databases so the people looking for what you do can find you.
Great. Hashtag Inside Fort Worth Business. Hashtag Fort Worth Today. What else should we be hashtagging? When should we use hashtags?
Well, I would say, like for this program, for example, you may use additional hashtags depending on what subjects are being covered.
Okay.
So today it might be digital marketing, it might be salsa, it might be craft beers, for example.
Right on.
So you would look for hashtags that are relevant to those subjects.
Terrific. We're going to see you again. Thank you for you're helping us with our CQ Digital Media, putting us out there, but thanks for being here today.
You betcha. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Great. I love that. It's fun to learn about what's going on in the space with hashtags and digital, because I think so often we talk to our agency, we talk to our partners, and we see hashtags, and I see them on Instagram and I see them on Twitter, but a lot of times trying to figure out how to use them and where we use them, it's a whole different thing. I'm excited about our next guest in this next segment, because when we talk about what's going on in the city and we think about ice cold beer, I came across an article a couple of weeks ago, and it's interesting because I think there's been this whole evolution with the breweries and the distilleries and what's going on. And if we can get Christy to come in and kind of talk to us about, she's been cloned the
beer whisperer.
The beer whisperer. What's that?
I don't know. It's a funny term that was coined a few years ago, and it's kind of stuck with me. So I'm honored to have it, I suppose. So thanks for having me.
Christy Wilson,
Good morning.
tell us about what you do.
Well, I jumped into the beer business about 4 years ago. I was told with my personality, maybe it was something to get into. I've never done outside sales before, so I've mastered the art of it. It's a lot of fun. As you know, beer breweries are growing fast and furious around the DSW Metroplex. We hold about 60 to date in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It seems like a lot. It's growing fast and furious, but if you think about other cities, Denver boasts over 170 breweries. San Diego boasts over 200. So this is an exciting thing for us to have down here that's growing. So.
How is it? Why is it so popular? How's it called? It seemed to me it seems like it kind of happened overnight.
Sure. I don't know how to answer that question. Trends come and go, and we've been drinking Coors Light, Miller Lite, Bud Light for some time. It's time to bring some local stuff in. Fritz Rohr, great friend of mine, also notoriously owns Rohr Brewing here in Fort Worth. Kind of set the bar for the craft movement in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I would say.
Right.
A notable man, a great mentor to a lot of us in this industry.
So talk a little bit about how that, it's turned into a big business.
It has.
And it's just not about going out and drinking cold beer. Talk a little bit of how that's turned in kind of the festivals and how it's really kind of cultivated into a whole business.
I will. There's a camaraderie in this line of business, which is a great thing. All these breweries, we work together, we honor each other and what we're trying to do, and we pick each other up where, we take turns on rotating in taps, and we do trivia, and we, believe it or not, breweries are quite family friendly. We want you to bring your kids out. A lot of them are dog friendly, which is really exciting. So don't be afraid if you have kids to bring them out to the breweries and have some family time. Usually Legal Draft, my company, for instance, they want you to bring your dogs out, and we have root beer on tap, so we like to incorporate the kids, and it's very much a family friendly environment. So
Good. So there's 16 breweries in Fort Worth?
no, in Dallas-Fort Worth, there's about 60, give or take a few. So yeah, it's doing quite well.
Now, from a competitive standpoint, how do they all survive?
Demographically, I think would be a big thing. There's everything from microbreweries that are pretty small, and then you get to your bigger breweries like Revolver, for instance, and congratulations to them on their big sale. But a lot of people just take a weekend. We're open 4 days a week. Some of them, like Rohr, open Wednesdays and Saturdays. Martin House, same thing, 2 days a week. And everybody takes turns going to different ones. So. It's one might have a 1-year anniversary one weekend or a special event to raise money for a great charity around Fort Worth or Dallas, and that's why they attract the people out there. So yeah.
Okay, does beer have to be cold?
That's a great question, and I'm glad that you asked that. So, a lot of businesses will advertise, excuse me, a cold ass beer, and it actually is not something with craft. You really get the notable the flavors and the notes serving the beer about 55 degrees, 45 to 55 degrees. You really don't want it that cold, so you can get those prominent great flavors from the malts and the hops underneath all of them. And good question. I'm glad you asked that. So no, it doesn't have to be freezing cold beer, but yeah.
Cool. So if I want to experiment with beer, and let's say I want to go taste a couple of different beers,
Sure.
where would be the best place to where would be a starting point?
Another good question. There's places all around Fort Worth, from your off-premise accounts, which are Central Market, Specs, Total Wine, things like that, where they offer beer classes.
Okay.
People like me that are reps for breweries will go out and do demos as well. I love talking about beer. So people that are very virginal to craft breweries and this abundance of beer just coming at you, I want to sit down and talk with you about beer and open your palate to it. A lot of people aren't beer drinkers, but sometimes those are my favorite kind of people, just sitting there and educating them a little bit. That's all it takes.
Great.
So, yeah.
What do you love most about what you do?
The people. Yeah, I've made a lot of relations. I think I have 400 brothers out there, and they're all bearded and hairy and covered in flannel shirts and boots and whatnot. But the relationship, just like we're building now, or going out to an account, you can't be shy in this line of business. It's not for the faint of heart, too, though. We move kegs, we sweat our tails off, and it's just going out and building a friendship. That's what it takes. So,
Great.
yeah.
And talk a little bit about this paradigm, because I think a lot of time when we think about beer drinkers, there's that paradigm, if you will.
Okay.
And that's not necessarily the case anymore.
I don't think so. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, I know many people. We're crossing over with distilleries in Fort Worth. We're using their bourbon barrels. We get nice wet barrels from distilleries, and breweries are using those to make bourbon barrel aged brews and things like that. Same thing with wine, Cabernet wine barrels and things like that, and kind of doing infusions and yeah. So
That's cool.
Thanks.
And the breweries you're going to are nice.
they're very nice. Yeah.
Very nice.
Well, you got to keep them pretty clean. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So.
Great. Well, thanks for being with us
Thanks.
today.
You guys check out Legal Draft Beer Company. We're in Arlington, Texas, open Thursday through Sunday. Please bring your kids, your dogs. There's always fun, new, exciting things that are happening down there. So thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
We appreciate
You bet.
it. That's cool. I mean, I always thought a beer had to be cold, ice cold beer, but that's not the case. Check it out. Cultivating business, right? That's what we're all about. So now I'm excited because I wanted to technology, we're really trying to make Fort Worth a technology town, right? It's a world-class city. The 2 largest transporters in the world are based here, American Airlines, Burlington Santa Fe, and it's world-class. So I wanted to find a technologist, and I thought it was something that would be cool if we could have someone that maybe was a bilingual technologist to bring in and have us talk to us about that. And it's just standing right here. Cynthia is going to talk to us. Camera, I'm going to bring you all right over here to go to cameras, we're going to go right over here. And Cynthia I'm going to let you introduce yourself. I don't know your name, and she's going to talk to us about technology here in Fort Worth.
Hola, me llamo Cintia Segoviano y estudio tecnología y quiero platicar un poco sobre lo que está pasando en la tecnología aquí en Fort Worth, Texas. Okay. Pues como ustedes saben, la tecnología en realidad es una palabra que en realidad tiene muchos componentes.
Okay, hold on just a second. I want you to talk about technology, but can we maybe talk about it in English just for a second first?
Well, you said talking, you wanted to talk about technology in Spanish in our market.
Well, I do, but I'm trying to. I do, but maybe can we work into that?
Okay, sure. I can
Okay.
speak English too.
Okay. First of all, help me with the pronunciation of your last name.
Segoviano.
Segoviano. Okay, great.
All right.
Cynthia Segoviano is our technology. How did I say that? Strategist. Tell me what's going on in technology in Fort Worth.
Okay, so first and foremost, I do want to clarify that technology is a very broad term, right? There are a lot of different components and people specialize in different areas. I specialize in information system security. So with that said, there are a lot of great initiatives that are occurring in our community that aren't necessarily in my area, but they're still phenomenal. One of the projects that I do work with and I'm very passionate about is robotics education. So I was telling you a little bit about the robotics education programs that we've set up with Fort Worth ISD. We started piloting one last year, and now we are in transition to starting up five teams. So
Great.
that's really exciting. Kids, I think, are the most valuable members of our community in terms of innovation, and so we're really trying to give them that support system so that they can then just give them the tools and they'll run with it. And it's really fun too, as you witnessed.
Yeah, talk a little bit about the competition that took place.
So the competition was the first time that we had Texas Wesleyan had a robotics summer camp, and several of the students that I have been working with for a while were a part of that, and so they just basically spent their whole summer building a robot. It was kind of a crash course, so within several weeks, maybe 7 weeks, these kids started with nothing and were ready to compete each other. We're also really teaching them a lot about about friendly competition. So working together, helping the other teams, and still being able to, at the end of the day, compete against each other, but doing it all with while having fun.
Great.
Yeah, so.
There's some exciting things going on at UNT Health Science Center with the new leadership and women of it. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. I'm so excited to hear that we have this wonderful woman coming in, and having a woman in that position is just really inspiring for a lot of the girls that I work with in the community. I'm sure that they feel inspired to want, to know that they can reach just as high, and so I think that that's great. I think that women bring something, special to the field, and are able to think things in a different manner. And so I'm really excited to see what she will bring and what she will be able to do. So we're very excited to have her here.
That's Lisa. What is her last name?
I'm sorry. I'm not sure.
She comes from NASA. She comes from NASA. That's real very
I
exciting.
know.
So
Wow. I mean, that's a huge thing for Fort Worth. To have people like that taking notice of the things that we're doing here, and I think that's very, very telling of this community itself. It is a very innovative community. It drives into entrepreneurship. I think I'm happy to see that others are noticing that as well. And so, as you know, there is a lot of other stuff going on, Chris. UTARI is located here, the UTA Research Institute, and they're doing some pretty outstanding stuff in artificial intelligence. So, I think that I just encourage everyone to find out more, get involved, and support the students in the community who will be the leaders of tomorrow.
Terrific. Thank you for being with us, and we look forward to learning more. And I
Gracias.
promise I will continue to work on my Spanish.
Okay,
Thank you
good.
for being here.
Thank you.
Great. Terrific. That's some great stuff. Let me check on one thing. Sarah, if we could get our table set up for the Doug. And did JK make it in?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got a little filler here. That's some cool stuff we've got going on. We're all about cultivating business, and I love Facebook. I love LinkedIn. I love all the things we've got going on. And I love our offering. If you're not getting the eyeballs that you're looking for with your print advertising or your event sponsorship, I think Fort Worth Today and Inside Fort Worth Business is a great option for you that I want you to consider. Today's program is sponsored by CQ Digital Media. We create video for trade shows, websites, social media, help you tell your story. If we can't help you, we'll be happy to help you find someone that can. But we'd love to help you create videos to help you tell your story. Today's been a great show, and I'm really excited because the next guy we have coming in is one of those social media phenomenons that I've been following for a couple of months, who is one of those salsa guys, but has an ice cream named after him over at Melt Ice Cream. And I don't know how many of you go to Melt, but it's one of those true social media phenomenals, almost like Funky Town Donuts. They post something and then I'm there, and they do a great job of doing that. And one of my favorite products that these guys have is, I love anything hot. And this is their green salsa. It's jalapeno salsa. And man, I love it. So we're going to talk about Miss Renfro Foods. We're going to talk about how they built that brand. We're going to talk about his social media. But more than anything, we're going to talk about his love of sweets, because he loves sweets the same way I love sweets. And it's been a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's bring in Mr. Renfro.
Hi, how are
Hey,
you?
Doug. How's everything going?
Good to see
Great.
you.
How's your week?
Very good, great now.
Terrific. What's going on at Miss Renfro Foods?
We're always looking for new products and developing new ideas, and oddly enough,
I'm gonna get you to come stand. Let me
Certainly.
move this out.
Fritz Farrar was just mentioned earlier in the program here, and we've just done a craft beer salsa pairing up with Fritz Farrar. So
Oh, cool.
Very timely.
Now, are you a beer drinker?
I'm actually not, I don't do gluten.
You don't?
Uh,
Okay.
Yeah, but we can still cook with it,
Absolutely.
and a lot of people do.
What made you conceive? How did you come up with that idea?
We're always looking for something new. Last year, we did a pumpkin salsa. I wasn't sure the world needed any more pumpkin.
Okay.
And we had one giant retailer that asked us to do it, so we set about making the best pumpkin salsa we could come up with. A lot of nutmeg and cinnamon, connoting to your brain pumpkin pie.
Great.
And that went really well, and our sales director said, now we need something else. And we were looking around and trying to think of something no one else has done, other than something that hasn't been done for a reason. And craft beer seemed like something fun to play with.
Great, great. How long have you guys been in business?
77 years.
Terrific. Did you grow up in the business?
I did. Every summer since 6th grade, I did the nastiest jobs. Mixed all the spices in college. Got the heck out of there after college for about 7 years. Went corporate, dressed like this for 7 years, and great training. Just sucked the soul right out of your body, though. Big corporate stuff. So I've been back 25 years.
Terrific. What do you like most about it?
I think the ability to create things that are delicious and healthy and affordable for everybody, and to have direct impact in that. Working with my family, I run it now with 2 cousins. We pay my dad and my uncle full salary to give us opinions.
Okay.
And my grandparents, I always want to point out, my granddad was the entrepreneur, not me.
Okay.
I wouldn't probably have the nerve to jump out of my corporate job safely like that and start a company out of the garage, but in 1940, surviving the Depression, he and my grandmother did that.
Okay. How do you stay competitive?
We're really about flavor innovation, because it's a big field. There's 600 brands of salsa tracked in the country. We're number 9. If we doubled, we'd be number 9. The 8 above us are that much bigger. So it's very much a fight every day, a David versus Goliath sort of thing. So the creativity, the nimbleness, the ability to create these flavors nobody knew they were looking for, that's what helps us.
Great. And do you have a favorite flavor?
I do. For me, mango habanero is my go-to. I use it for my salad dressing. It's fat-free, cholesterol-free, which lets me reserve my calories and fat for chocolate and wine, which, as you know, I much prefer to
Right.
chicken fried steak and gravy personally. And so you can cook with it, put it on eggs, soft chicken tacos. My tongue is a little wimpy, actually. The best 3 sellers for us are ghost pepper, habanero, and green. I don't eat those because they hurt me, but I've seen little girls eat them like ketchup. So everybody's tongue is different.
Cool. Hey, let's do some move around on the products and stuff if we can, Kyle, just because I think those are cool. So that's interesting, because when I think of you, I think of Shark Tank, right? And then we can move around if we need to move him around, you guys. So because when you say, because when I think of Lori Grenier, right, when she talks about products and I say, I don't invest products that I don't like or I can't
Exactly.
taste, right? So, and you say my 3 favorite products, I can't taste them.
I can. It hurts. I can't eat a lot of them. I have to
But
do
you
ghost
sampled
pepper
them,
cut-
okay.
Right. I have to do cuttings on ghost pepper to make sure we're happy with the supply. But I can taste 2 or 3, and I have to wait like 5 hours before I can taste it again because my tongue is glowing.
Okay.
And other people, we have employees who can taste it for me and say it's not hot at all. It's just delicious.
Okay, but you're a real foodie.
I like a lot of foods.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And
Well, I mean, I follow you on all your channels, and you're constantly eating. You like.
I'm cursed to have to experiment. Yeah.
Right.
The research is the fun part. So the pineapple jalapeno cheesecake I had the other night in Amarillo, those sorts of things. I've got to try it all.
Yeah.
You never know where the next trend is going to be. You may see pineapple jalapeno salsa coming up soon, and you're like,
Sure.
Where did you get that? It's from the cheesecake in Amarillo. I try a lot of things. Sometimes it doesn't work, but a lot of it's just delicious and interesting.
Great. Where do you see you all going in the next 5 years?
We want to sell more off the current shelf spot, so increase velocity and
Okay.
increase awareness across the country. And it's a little difficult. The good news is we're national. The bad news is that we're national. So less than 5% of our sales are in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Okay.
We sell more in Boston than Austin. So we've got these strange pockets. We sell really well in Halifax. How do you promote that?
More in Boston than Austin.
True. It's a strange fact.
Really?
We pushed hard in the Northeast early on because there was less competition up there. I think Taco Bell and Tostitos were the only brands when we started going up there. And Austin, of course, had 8,000 brands of salsa. So sometimes you go where the competition is less, but then when you succeed, it makes for these odd situations.
Right. Do you consider yourself a marketing or a branding guy?
I would say both, but branding primarily. I love helping other people build brands. I support people that I like, but I will always look to see if they have a social media account and they post once every 18 months, I'm not going to help them because nobody's looking. You know, they don't. You have to care enough to push your own brand for us to want to play ball with you.
Your three favorite brands to follow. Mine's Chick-fil-A.
It's hard.
Okay, I love going into advertising guys and saying, "What's your favorite brand?" They go, Coca-Cola. You know, they'd never say Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. I love everything about it. What are your three favorite brands?
That's a hard question. Capital Grill, because
Okay.
I don't like supporting big chains,
Okay.
but I love big chains that execute and do a great job and that will play with me. So especially locally here, Gloria will play back and forth on
Great.
social media. We help promote each other.
Great. We want Gloria. We want you to come on.
She does a good job.
She does. She does great.
Tabasco, because you know Tabasco seems like a competitor, but it's not. It's hot sauce. We're salsa. Two different uses. They're like 135 years old. You know, very very successful family business to this day, and they have a lot of flavors. I keep 4 kinds of Tabasco in my pantry at all times.
Really?
Then you know we need some variety.
Right. Cool.
And Funky Town Donuts, Melt, all the locals,
Love.
Lily's Bistro.
Now-
I could go on and on.
Now, when you see something posted, are you there within an hour?
Often, yes.
Okay.
Or I try to help make it get posted.
Okay.
You know, Funky Town did a ghost pepper frosting,
Oh, I
and
did.
I couldn't get there fast enough. Yeah, ghost pepper mint.
Okay, so I'm with Doug Renfro of Renfro Foods, who has a world-class salsa, who's known nationally for that. Got a lot of feedback about what a great businessman you are.
It's my grandmother.
Oh, that's cool. Look at that, guys. His grandmother. Is she still alive?
No, she's not.
Okay.
If you put a wig on me and shave, apparently that's what I look like.
How we doing on time?
27.
27. Okay, I love this, and but I gotta ask you. You like ice cream?
I do like ice cream.
I love ice cream. Yeah. What do you think about this new ice cream that's bypassed Haagen-Dazs and Ben and Jerry's? Have you had it?
Which one?
The top. What's the new flavor? The top shelf or the high top? Have you had the high top?
I have not had the high
Oh, it's
top.
like 320 calories.
Oh, you Halo Top.
Halo Top.
Oh, I eat a lot of Halo Top.
You like it?
If you put bananas and Kahlua on it, it's outstanding.
Thank you. Bananas and Kahlua. Yeah, I haven't
Toasted almonds.
Right. Great. How did you come up with the Doug? What's in the Doug? The Doug is tell us about the Doug.
I was minding my own business, and my good friend Carrie Crow sent me a note and said, "I hope you're in town tomorrow because I got a surprise for you." I always pester her to put more chili peppers in ice cream, and she very, very nicely came up with something with a roasted hatch chili pepper and salted dark chocolate ganache, and called it the Doug for a 2-day special on the weekend.
Okay.
And I own about a quart of it, and it is outstanding. It's very hot.
Okay.
All the pepper ice creams I've had before had some heat. This one is hot from the first bite. So I sandwiched it with 2 gluten-free chocolate chip cookies, being the weirdo that I am, and that was outstanding.
Okay. Weirdo's a good thing, right?
In the food world, yeah.
If someone calls me weird, I say thank you. That's a
I mean,
compliment.
innovative's the fancy word. Weirdo is the cheaper word.
Great. Well, I can't thank you enough for being with us today.
I enjoyed it.
I have a special gift for you, and I had to think long and hard.
Ice
Stand
cream?
by. I tried to think, what could I get for someone that likes sweets as much as I call it the Magic Bar. They called it the 7-layer bar. But I got this for you last night.
Oh, bless you.
Yes, and I hope I have to be honest with you, because about 3 o'clock this morning, after the fight, I really wanted to put it in my microwave.
It seems smaller than it was, doesn't it? When you bought it.
Thank you for everything. Thank you for
Thanks.
being here.
Enjoy it.
Thank you for your support of Inside Fort Worth Business.
You're very
And
welcome.
I look forward to seeing you again real soon.
Eat more salsa.
Eat more salsa, that's right.
Thank you.
Great. Hey, what a great show. We've had a great guest on Inside Fort Worth Business. We're all about cultivating business And we thank our sponsor, CQ Digital Media. It's been a fantastic show. I hope you will follow us on our social media channels. Thank you for being a part of this week's show. For Chris Quinn and Inside Fort Worth Business, have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you. I thought that was 30 minutes, but I couldn't tell. Let me get a picture with everyone. Post it. Okay. Good job, everyone.